Hey guys, and in today's video, this is going to be part 1 of our series of playing Ark Survival Ascended. And wow, this is definitely, you will not want to miss this episode, because while we did get pretty far, at least in terms of starting, next episode will for sure be way better than this one. So like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and let's get right into the video. After being, well, let's just say blinded in my room by a very bright light, I ended up waking up on an incredibly laggy island. Now, as you can see, Ark Survival Ascended is kind of breaking my computer. It's not that good. I mean, my computer's very good, but it's lagging my computer. After being competent enough to not scratch my survival thing, I decided to go to the settings and look at every single setting that I should possibly change to be able to progress, because I had some real issues last time I was playing while trying to make a different video, which will probably never get posted because I was breaking the game imminently. As I try to figure out how to get stone, let me just tell you, this takes forever for me to realize that I just need to add a key binding that does not exist. So I decided to punch this tree, which went about like, and plus finding the stones, it looked about like this to get a pickaxe. So, as you can see, now I officially have the ability to know how to get stone and craft a pickaxe, which is really nice. So I decided to craft some engrams for a stone hatchet, a spear, and some basic cloth armor. And as I'm trying to get that, it takes a little bit to do that, but I also craft this Minecraft-looking cube thatch brick thing. I don't really know what it is, and while I look to try and get myself some of the basic thatch armor, this is basically what happened. I'm not gonna time lapse. I'm just gonna cut, because it does take a while. I'm gonna cut all these like parts where I'm just grinding, and boom, like just like that, I have myself the ability to have a little cloth shirt and currently crafting some cloth armor. Along with realizing that I probably need a stone hatchet and a torch to proceed, I go use my pickaxe, forget that that's not usable, and then go over here and proceed to slap this rock into smithereens. Also, I'd like to note some things as I'm crafting this. I am incredibly clueless on what to do, because while I play a bunch on my Nintendo Switch, I barely know how to use computer. So this is definitely a brand new, like, eye-opening experience for me. I have in an older video played Ark Survival Evolved on the PC, but I didn't really get as far as I do now, which is really cool. And just if you're wondering, Ark Survival Ascended is different from Ark Survival Evolved because Ark Survival Ascended is basically the remaster of Ark Survival Evolved, which I think is just really a really cool thing that they're using the new Unreal Engine tech to do some really cool stuff. So I'm about to just skim through what basically happens in the next little bit, which basically I get a bunch of a bunch of fiber to craft myself the rest of the cloth armor gear, while also killing some dodos, so I can get hide. And yes, that's it for now. Specifically, just in this part, like I'm not ending the video or anything, but that's just specifically it for right now. So, as you could see in that last little time lapse, I'm currently skimming down this beach looking for hide, and specifically a Parasaurolophus, so I can get my very first tame. Which I'm sad to say, in this entire video, I found not one Parasaurolophus just sitting around. There was just none for some reason. And as I'm going to learn pretty soon, dodos are now defensive in this game instead of just running around and doing nothing. Also, if you're wondering why my game's kind of low poly, especially my dodos, it's because I have not upgraded my NVIDIA graphics card, but I assure you the next time my computer needs to restart and it gives me that pop-up, I will do that, so there will be no more low poly characters like the dodos, which does happen a lot. But now I have my hands on the Parasaurolophus saddle, and I see this cute little baby dodo that I really want to tame, but I don't specifically know how yet. And this is about the point where I realize dodos are now defensive and they actually fight back. So that was fun. But I'm about to learn how to get a baby dodo. I'm able to tame the dodo, and I decided to name him Baby because why not? It just is a cute name because he's a little baby dodo. So now I decide to access his inventory and save some of my berries, but still give him some. And that dodo is now very scared of me because I just tamed another dodo. And as you can see, I just sit here and watch Baby grow up, and literally right in front of my eyes, he's growing up, being an adolescent, and barely needs any care. And that's one of the cool things about Ascended, is that the dodos and other creatures like that, they can now have baby dinosaurs spawn around. If they spawn in like packs and stuff, you will see some baby dodos, and then you can tame them. And then, just as I got that dodo, I saw this Dilophosaurus, this baby Dilophosaurus. So I just kind of had to. I didn't name it right then and there because I didn't really have a name for him. But I decided to go back to rename him, and I decided to rename him Spitter, which was the name of my Dilophosaurus in my Ark Survival Evolved Nintendo Switch world. So I thought it'd be cool to pay a little bit of an homage to that world by getting this cute little baby Dilophosaurus. And I'll quickly summarize what happens next in a time lapse, so that'll be fun. So basically what happened in the next little bit is I tried to set up at least a small base of operations where I could leave my tames at as I went to go grind, which would be very important, especially when saving, like I just did, because this game I have seen does crash a lot. I legitimately, though, when I first got Ascended, after waiting like 14 hours for it to download it, I restarted my computer, and since Ascended is downloaded on a hard drive because my computer doesn't have enough storage to actually fully properly use Ascended, I just ended up, I had to re-download it, which didn't take as long as I was expecting. It took about an hour to re-download Ascended after my 14-hour wait to download the actual game, because most of the stuff had already been done for me, which I thought was a really nice change. And now that I'm pretty much done building this base of operations, the only thing is that these dinosaurs, the dodos and everything, they decide that they want to, whenever you try and move them, they decide to go off wherever they want to just sit, and that really made it annoying for me. But in this next little bit, I'm thinking of really what to craft next. I'm kind of thinking of getting a home, but I'm also still trying to go for that Parasaurolophus, which I can't seem to find anywhere in this map, which is incredibly annoying, even though this is South Zone 1 Easy, which I know from my experience in Survival Evolved. This is like the same spawn zone, except it's just a little bit different. Literally, there should be Parasaurus, at least on the other side of the river. They shouldn't be everywhere, but there also should be Triceratops. Maybe they completely redid this area specifically so early game would be a little bit easier, because they're, including me, I punched a Triceratops, and that was a very bad idea. I ended up dying to it, so I decide to backtrack towards the other beach, because I know, at least from Evolve, that there's a chance of reloading the area if you just go far enough away from it. I'm not sure that that was quite far enough away from it, but it was definitely something, because while no new dodos spawned, there was something incredibly interesting that I was able to find as I continued to skim down the beach, which basically I found 3 little Dilophosaurs, which is not something you see every day. I didn't really want to engage in combat, so I see more and I go back. But then I decide that maybe I should craft a boat, which is going to be our next little grinding session, that instead of skimming over like I did last time what happened, because that was more something I should actually skim over for, we're going to go back to what I was doing earlier and basically just do a time-lapse video after I figure out which this engram is, which I then get the hide engrams before going for my other engrams, which include the bow engram. So I will see you guys at the end of the time lapse. So this was the specific part that I really wanted to go over because I thought it was a really nice addition to Ark. So as you can see, I come back to this little pack of Dilophosaurs, which normally can happen while playing Evolved, but in Ascended, it happens a lot more often. They normally gang up and pass at night in Evolved. Now, as I go to attack these guys, it seems that they are actually using pack hunting and teamwork skills, because if you look in the back corner of my eye, even after I'm blinded, you can see that this guy, who was completely halfway across the beach before, comes in to try and help defeat the other guys. But I immediately get knocked out, which was kind of annoying, and I did not know what torpidity was until right then and there. So I just kind of sat here for a little bit until it ran out, and I never really upgraded it for the rest of the video, even after learning that lesson of getting knocked out. But assure you, I will be learning that lesson of not getting knocked out by torpidity. But once again, I now have some of the stuff that I need for being able to craft that boat, and as I go back, I end up going back because there's some trees. I ended up seeing running around the little baby Dilophosaur from my attack on the pack of Dilophosaurs. I decide to leave him alone. Maybe he can find a family. I don't really know what'll happen to him, but maybe he'll come back as a villain in like the final episode or something. I'll be really powerful, but I'll be really low, and then this just red Dilophosaur jumps at me and then takes the final blow. I think that would be actually a really funny ending to the series that I probably will end up scripting or something. Somehow, like, getting it to where a red Dilophosaurus in specifics just jumps at me in the very end. Like, I'll have really low health, and yeah, that'd be incredibly funny to add to the series. And yeah, I guess this is kind of back to the grind of more time lapses. And the reason why I'm doing time lapses and only did that cut once is because you guys can see that this is actually genuine and not just me cutting the video, going into like creative mode or something and then doing it. But I guess it could be pretty obvious that every time I open up my save menu, there is no creative mode switch. So anyway, back to the grind. Alright, so now that I have officially crafted the raft, I decide that I should probably completely move my base from where it previously was into at least a sort of, at least for the raft, at least for the time being, until maybe I find a Parasaurolophus or get in a bit of a better state of making a base, because currently I know what comes at night, especially in Ark. Even on the easy zones, it's still sometimes incredibly hard to get by your first night. So that is why I am doing this so incredibly quickly, or at least trying to, because you can see the sun is a little bit starting to set. Maybe not right now, but later it will become a bit more apparent that the sun is setting. Now, for the next little bit, I'm trying to build a small platform where maybe I can add more stuff later on, like a small attachment, maybe for like my tames and stuff, and then add like a smithy onto it later. But right now, I have been I've been trying to get specifically that raft onto it. I never actually succeed in doing it. I try and make it help out later, but it never ends up helping out, and I end up having to do this incredibly weird contraption, as you will see right now. So, what I end up doing next is basically getting my Dilophosaur and onto my boat and seeing if he will even, if it'll even release. I'll still probably be staying on this island, but I will be using this as a mobile home, at least for the next little bit. I still want to get that Parasaurolophus tame. I am going to learn how to build boat extensions, so then I can do everything to the boat. But anyway, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. See you guys in the next part. Dino Man, out.